Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back for another casted game. This is game number 3 of the Play or Fire series between Iamturk and Conqueror. We're on Acropolis. I missed the first game, so I'm treating this as the second game. Conqueror winning that last game with the Maltese. We're on Acropolis, which is a map I've never seen a game of Age of Empires 3 being played on, and I think there's a few good reasons why this is the case. This is a very unique map. Before we get into that, Conqueror playing as the Chinese, spawning to the north map in the color blue. Iamturk playing as his favorite civilization, the Japanese, spawning to the south in the color red. Oh my god, that's a... Oh my god, that's actually a bug. What the hell? Surely not. Oh, wow. Okay. Wow, that's huge. Oh, it doesn't actually. So, okay, I thought for a second that these battery towers provided 0.5 XP per second, so maybe that has been changed, but looks like Iamturk starts off with an extra tower for some random glitch. I don't know, but this map, Acropolis, is designed based off the Age of Mythology map. Acropolis is one of my favourite ones. You've got to consider on this map, though, what's a bit interesting is there's not actually much hunt on this plateau, so you do have to push off. The only thing where it kind of doesn't really work in this game mode, Age of Empires 3, is that when you've got 4 towers or your entire base is walled in by cliffs and the only way in and out of this tower is through his battery towers, I think we're going to see just a lot of FI plays, fast industrials, not a lot of aggression. I don't really see how you break through these towers. I mean, they are just 2 outpost towers. They're nothing special. But all it takes is a little wall from there to here, across, and then up to wall off the entire entrance. And then, yes, you can kind of push all the way around from behind. But at that point, it doesn't really matter. There's no trading posts on the map, so you can't really punish and say, I'm going to take map control and take all this extra trading posts to secure extra resource and income. The TPs here, Fanner, I think it's 4 Fanners, which is not really a boomy type of native TP. They do actually have access to the 2 Athos monasteries with some pretty decent technologies. Catharsis being the standout one, providing a very strong trickle of experience if you haven't been attacked within 30 seconds. So do check that technology out if you haven't already. Conqueror here going for probably an FI, does actually have Fire Dragon Manual in Age 4, which is 2 Honoured Flamethrowers, 1 Flying Crow, and faster fire rate. So a nice little one-time shipment there. So it's a bit better than 2 Flying Crows, but obviously the 2 Flying Crows you want to keep in there to send afterwards. I'm expecting to see French Consulate, food crates. Maybe German Consulate here would be a little bit better if we're going for an FI. Maybe French, maybe Russian Consulate for the Vils. Don't actually spend any exports on your blockhouse and maybe send a fort in the 3rd age or wait for a factory. Who knows? Probably not wait for a factory. You probably need to spend the exports before you get access to a factory. But you see what I mean? Like, it's kind of, you cannot. And yes, Japan's on the map. They have shrines, so I suppose you have to move out and deal with that somehow. But Japan is very happy to build a barracks, build Yumi archers, and to kill Chang Bikeman and Chukunu. That's not a problem. There's a lot of shrine potential in base with the Wonder, the goats behind the map, like walling this off, towers protecting, some shrines out on the side. Some of these hunts are really far on the side, and the map is actually pretty big. It's sizable. It's certainly not a insignificant amount of land mass between the 2 players. So what this does is just encourages probably more in-base play. Temple of Heaven coming down there, 3 villagers, and the Transcendence ability. But I don't actually imagine we'll see that. Might be we'll age up to the 3rd age with... I think Porcelain Tower still can work. Could be Summer Palace for the food boost to help that FI move along even faster, but probably Porcelain Tower has longer benefits. Then going into the 4th age, Confucian Academy is pretty decent. However, could do like a Summer Palace into the Porcelain Tower Age 4, and have a 4th age Porcelain Tower, which is basically would be a factory at that point, and is very strong to kind of have that. So Conqueror's not actually having any villagers on the Temple of Heaven, so will age up slow, but looks like he's going to manually gather up all his gold to age up to the 3rd age and save a shipment. Which I think is wise because of the map and the lack of XP income. There's no training posts, there's no XP income from the battery towers. The only XP you can get is kind of killing treasure gardens, which again, the treasures on this map are not numerous and not super significant. Some decent treasures. Yeah, 100 food there by 2 beasts, but we're really struggling to see where like the great treasures are. These 2 battery towers can definitely demolish these. Desert Skirmisher's Garden, 125 gold. My god, that's a big treasure. That's a good treasure to take if you are any civ, really. Near enough a freebie. The thing is, the problem with Conqueror's build is Conqueror's kind of following the Chinese build order as if he's got an age 1 trading post, but he hasn't. He hasn't got that XP income. And I fear for him because he kind of... I feel like he should have gone for Northern Refugees first and sacked off Tea Leaves. Tea Leaves is good, but 3 vills in age 1 is even better. Like, Conqueror's still not up to the next age. I know he's going for a slow age up with the villagers not being built, and he's kind of gathering the gold himself. He's basically doing a no crate FF with lack of vills. I wonder how much these goats will eat though, considering that this is basically his opportunity to kind of get to the 4th age from that. China's looking for it. The treasure but got picked off by the battery towers. Iamturk is just walling up. Boys, we're going to be in here for a nice long one. I hope you're nice and comfy, tucked up, ready to sit tight. Wood's been sent in here for Conqueror. And the thing is, if you go for an FI, I see the wood. I see what you're trying to do with it, but realistically, should be sending gold. And yeah, if you have low leftover gold, that's not a problem because you can use that to go to the 4th age. Maybe the export could just send export and then send in coin crates next stage. Okay, that's not really a good trade, is it? Overall, but you can switch between different constants cheaper. Overall, like it feels like the idea of like, yes, I've got an in-base untouched FI here from China feels like amazingly OP, but you'd have to feel that Iamturk's situation probably is going to be a little bit better as a result of having a really safe, secure, full greedy boom. 600 wood into 4 behind. He hasn't got any of the Shrine Wagons cards. The Shrine Wagons are pretty decent, especially when we try to get the shrines built so far on the map. Kind of feel that Iamturk... Oh yeah, heavily Kami card 1, so... Yeah, he's going for a full shrine boom here. I was kind of hoping to see more shrines being built and gathered. Yeah, these shrines are nice. Those shrines down here are very nice. He's kind of actually found an 8 animal hunt. He's just trying to get around as many as possible, shrining up. Kind of feel like there was a 5 shrine wagon. You can just move these shrines out to the far corners and get these done first. And then kind of work his way back and shrine back towards the base. The 4 vills work fine. The only other problem that is there for Iamturk is the fact that, okay, that might slow down his transition. Well, it might... Sending 4 vills increases the rate of resource in base being eaten up. And momentary pause, but we're back in. Nanny indeed. Getting seconds here, food, civil servants. All this here from Iamturk feels a little slow. It feels good, but it feels like we could have more. We could be doing more sieging. If Iamturk comes across this village in the War Academy, for some reason his UI says it's been burnt down, but I can assure you it's not burnt down. Oh, it is. He's deleted it. Oh, it's because Conqueror, with his line of sight on the village. Yeah, he saw those pikemen coming from a long way away and decided to bail out and maybe build that building back in base. Porcelain Tower is being constructed the 3rd age. Maybe looking to go to the 4th with the... what is it? The Confucian Academy. A lot of... Worth noting, a lot of animals here starting to get really fattened up here. Goats at 200, goats at 200, sheep a little bit less. They came in at a later time. Those cows at 220 as well. That's worth it. So we're looking to send in maybe 1,000 gold and jump up. Maybe skip. Don't need to send in the gold. Have everybody on the gold, but then eat all the sheep as well to get to that point. It's potential, but just feel the crippling lack of experience here from Conqueror. It's actually 3 villages and a town centre. I think he actually sent in 4 vil after the 700 wood. So he's calling skirmishers. I guess he feels vulnerable, but he's got literally nothing here protecting, but so far, like, the whole idea of the play was to kind of go aggressive. Yeah, he's actually researching coin crates from the French consulates, sending skirms. Skirms could go forward to kill off the clubman, but kind of destroys the idea of the FI. Yes, Iamturk is aging up to the 3rd age, and I'm sure Iamturk will jump very quickly and happily to the 4th age behind this as well. So we'll have to find that out. Military wagon does come out. Probably would be put into a stable somewhere, because they've already got a barracks. He'd be forward. This is useful information for Iamturk. He does see the skirmisher shipment and the skirm sword batch. That's not a Summer Palace batch. I mean, it could be. But Summer Palace has fallen out of favour drastically within China meta recently. It's still pretty decent. So Iamturk must know that Conqueror is thinking forward, thinking aggressive. I suppose you kind of have to. Like, look at Japan. He's got 200 shrine pop, and every single hunt on the map is shrines. There's nowhere that China can really happily gather. I mean, there's one deer here. There's a ibex, which was in base, now running out. Does have a back herd still going good, and he has actually started to work on a side hunt. Clear that out. The cows and the goats are looking really tasty here for Conqueror to clean up behind this. Does have... Might soon have the gold required too, but he does have the porcelain's tower stuck on wood, so yeah, it's really in Conqueror's interest, like, as in Conqueror's playing to stay in age 3, which is all fine. The only problem is you just don't push this in age 3 without siege. You don't push Yumi Ward playstyle. Golden Pavilion up, Yumi archers being trained. Iamturk started thinking, I'm gonna send 7 vils behind this, and I can just build myself a castle and make flaming arrows. I don't actually need to ship them because of how little pressure I'm under and how big my boom is going. All the shrines currently on wood, and the best part of each shrine 0.5, let's say on average. 0.5, take a couple of shrines off, 15 shrines, 0.5, 7.5 wood per second. That's an upgraded factory. That's like a really strong upgraded factory behind. Shrine as well adds into that. Yumi archers, they're just strong as well. Strong units. Tianyan gets up. Disciplined Arquebusiers moving in to try and engage. But the towers defend these guys back quite happily. A couple of Yumi archers here moving across to try and pick up the Chang Daos. They were pulled back in potentially into combat. There's some hand mortars. That's the siege we're starting to talk about. That's pretty good. The only problem is those type of siege, unlike the Flying Crows, they're great versus buildings, artillery, long range, but they're terrible versus units, which I kind of feel that kind of want. Some China Cav does come up, but Yumi archers should be able to pull trick back in. Should be able to pull trick him back in. He's not actually trying to pull trick him though. So a couple more Yumi archers go down than really ideally planned. Naginata switch is in play here. Discipline Nag is being researched. 5 Nag is being trained behind. Nag is being sent. Nag is being trained as well in the stable. So maybe a potential batch of 15. A couple more Shinobi no Monos could come out with that remaining export. We're bit short on food. We do have a lot of gold income. Maybe Castle Flying Crow production or Castle Flaming Arrow production at some point. Only 13 Yumis is just not enough to engage, and picks off a hand mortar in one shot. How the hell does that happen? I suppose these guys only have 50% range resistance, and actually probably our class is in land military. Okay, no infantry tag there, so I think that would be very close whether that unit died or not. But here come the Naginatas. Conqueror sends in intervention, probably intervention clubman. And if he can get it from the tower, it'd be great. I don't think he will. Yeah, I think the hammer was going for another volley. He's going to commit that, but that's a lot of Naggies. How? That's not enough anti-cav there from Conqueror. And the thing is, the Yumi Archers can fight that. The hand mortars are not really contributing to the fight. Yumi Archers just stand there. This is looking pretty good actually here from Iamturk fight point of view. Now fighting with HP bonus. Double cav now being trained by Conqueror, so potential strong reinforcements. And actually a lot of melee stuff is sieging the shrines, but it feels weird having that many units sieging shrines while being aggressive and pushing the front, because there's always potential here for the cav just to move in and clap China, which I'm kind of fearing at the moment, because these units are good. Like overall, these units are good. Yumi Nagi combination so strong, so strong. Like how he's got to fight this. He can't let the Chinese cav get onto the thing. And actually, Iamturk, where's his intervention? Did he cancel it? Oh no, I was looking at Conqueror's intervention. Ah, that's what's happened. Conqueror sent intervention. And Iamturk sending Nagi HP. He's waiting for Nagi HP. It's now in 462. Turn and fight. Let's go. I think he is. Yumi's going to focus down Redcoats. Redcoats in ranged attack for some reason. They need to be in melee versus Naginatas, it looks like. But they're going to get focused down. And potential fight back here from Turk, because I'm struggling to see the anti-cav or the anti-Naginata riders here. A lot of units being trained up by Turk, though. He's got one Ashy in queue, which must be a mistake. I think he's misclicked that one, so he wants to get that one into Nagi production as fast as possible. Look at Conqueror's point of view. Manchu are now being sent. It's a little. Has he already lost? Well, let's see, has he lost most of it? But actually, these Meteor Hammers are getting some really, really good damage on that front line. More Nagis are coming, though, and the Nagis on the skirmishers are getting some good trades. Still super close between these two titans of the Asian civilizations. The thing is, the Meteor Hammers, they're decent attack, but like Nagis are just better in everything they do, apart from like the range bonus, and Disciplined Iron Flails are just not good cav on cav. Nagis with their HP bonus and the Disciplined and the 20% HP, it used to be 25, it used to be 30%. They can happily stand around and just like tank. Shrine population here from Turk still at 200. There might be a couple shrines on a few random animals, but still looking pretty healthy shrine population on animals around the place. The monks certainly getting some good work done. Doesn't have a shrine here on this bit more arbitrary place, but might pick up one or two. That's a full batch of Ashy, Nagi, and Clubman. That's a nice like little timing. And Iamturk, not Iammagic. Iammagic's another. It's a totally different level of beast. He's a AOM, AoE 4 specialist. Great player, Magic is, but Turk needs some of that magic now to help him stay alive. The actual amount of hand cavalry here from Conqueror is rather low, so Disciplined Yumi Archers looking to be pretty decent. Sending Ashy Garu close combat, which is not great. Only 10% HP and 1 multiplier versus Cav. I don't really see why you'd want to send that instead of Weird the Bow or Yumi Attack, which is a 20% card. That's pretty decent. More Nagis coming out, and the thing is, it's the Manchu we haven't got any answers for. It's the Yumis, and we're not sending in a Yumi shoulder batch or a Yumi upgrade. That's what we wanted to send in. Clubmans do charging forward, but haven't got much more export to actually get even more. Actually, a whole batch of Clubmen would have been sick from the concert. Massive fight coming down. Manchu's going to have to work so hard to rip through, but most of the skirmishers are going down behind this. But Iamturk's back in there. I thought Iamturk had a great position in that fight. I thought he could have done that. Still 17 Ashes. Most of the Manchu have actually been focused on already. So yeah, Naga's going to go back in for another engagement. Explorer goes down, some more infantry charging in. Conqueror still looking pretty decent behind this. The fight's really, really, really close. 5 Nagis being shipped, more Clubmen being trained, more Nagi, double Ashy being trained behind this. No more Yumis it seems here for Iamturk, bit strange. Conqueror behind this. Load of gold. Doesn't have iron troops. Not training anything. Out of food. Low hunt map and all the other hunt is taken up by shrines. Changdao's moving forward. It's not the shipment he needs behind this. Actually, Gara's on the hand mortars who've done a lot of damage over the time being, it has to be said. But unfortunately here, they're now left out, hang up to dry, and Japan will claim its victims. Japan pushing back out. Score still pretty close. Conqueror score supposedly edging it a bit. I don't really see how or where it's come from. Yep, now Iamturk leading it ahead. Trying to get on that town center play. I just didn't quite think for the Age 3 play is how China wanted to do this. Maybe a little bit of Age 2 infantry just to try and contest shrine population. And then from there jump into Age 4. Did actually send in the northern refugees for the villagers at some point, which is pretty good. Kind of needed that though, because the economy and XP tempo was rather lacking, and you can kind of feel that this game, even though most of the shipments are now gone, you just feel that a general lack of XP for both players. None of the native TPs give XP as well. None of the native tech TPs have really been used. I don't really see what has been used here from Conqueror, and looking at Conqueror's point of view, he hasn't actually even used any of that native TP benefit. China's cav though, going to the Ashes. Can't get complacent. That cavalry is in the wrong place. And the Chinese cav, Japan cav needs to quickly come back to help out the infantry cohort here. They're kind of hung out to dry. They're charging back in. There we go. Turk probably sends in some more upgrades. No, he hasn't. The last card was probably the 5 Nagi or close combat, either of those two. Still no Yumi upgrades here. But probably going pure into Ashi now, so maybe looking for Ashi attack Age 2. Daimyo support could be quite nice. Oh, I know, he sent cherries. Yeah, he sent cherry orchards. He needed some more food, and I think that's a good play. He'll need some more at some point. Maybe now Iamturk is going to go for this skirmisher treasure. just for completion. Oh, no, he's going to run past it. Maybe, yes, no, I don't know. There's a lot of vills out here on this castle, and Iamturk knows that he lost shrines over here, and he sees... You can click on the animals and you can just see how much food is remaining and going down. So it's always safe to push out there. He sees the army is on the west side as well, or some of it, nearly more of it, more villagers, castle going down. That castle might go up and might get denied. Should go up, but the problem is it's not like a Maltese commander. You know exactly what those villas are, and you've got Ashies coming behind. This is the unit you want. This is how you're going to tear down a building quickly and kill every inside. And this might be how the game ends, because Conqueror's point of view, that's 17 vills. He's kind of short on resources now. Natural resources are out. He's trying to get new double TC, but the remaining hunts on the map are all protected by shrines, which you need to siege with army. And the army's crossing the map, can't get to it. And all those villagers, all of them are going down. Maybe one will make it back to China to tell the difference. Maybe. Might put him back. Oh, yes, no one makes out of that alive. It's a shame. Conqueror's sending out RV, so skirmishers have +1 versus Ashigara's Transcendence has been called. Iamturk going to back a little bit. Needs to get the Ashes in the front line. There's a lot of anti-cav there, and the Nagis can kind of come in later, but... who wins this fight? This might actually be a China fight. There's always potential for China, but I think Japan should... I don't know, the Japan Cavs just running, not really fighting at the moment. But the economy of Japan is oh, look at the reinforcing Ashes and Nagis. Okay, that's changed the equation somewhat. I thought the middle fight potentially, yes, no. You see, the top side's crumbling. Japan's been taken back. Southern Cal flight work in his favour, but only due to reinforcements. Reinforcing Ashi unchallenged. Skirmishes exposed. Game over. What a game that was. For a map which has fundamental problems for Age of Empires 3, that was actually a rather entertaining game, I will say. I don't think the best strategies for both players were selected. I think Iamturk's was fine. I think he was forced to say Age 3 because of China's play, but managed to hold on that quite nicely. Meanwhile, China's play, card order felt a bit iffy due to the no XP and It just doesn't feel like the right map to go for like an FF aggro timing, and even though things were a bit slow, or maybe his build of not sending 700 gold, not too sure if that kind of worked out in the end, but overall that was a good game. A lot of micro there, like continuous fighting and trading. That timeline would show that military population was always ticking up and down, decent fights. Conquer tried to break in twice and got pushed back just about on both occasions, and finally when Vils out on the map, there were the pickings. Japan waited for his opportunity and then struck, took it with both hands, and never looked back, managing to secure a 7 pivot villager shipment as well. Always very, very nice there from Japan. All resources will be really close. Iamturk edging it later on. Yeah, age 3, kind of close with the Porcelain Tower, really assisting. You can see the before and after of the age 3 age up, and for a game like this where you're kind of going long versus Japan, you're not fearing aggression. That's kind of like the territory of German consulate instead of French consulate. Crates are quite nice, but hasn't actually achieved that long term eco benefit that you'd hoped for. And Japan was ready and waiting to defend and had the base set up for it. So good game, enjoyed that one. And let's have a quick move on to the next one. So Iamturk gets a big one gets a point on the board. 1 apiece after 2 games. They have played the 3rd game, which I did miss. So thanks for watching, boys. I'll see you in the next video.